Hello, 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 everybody. No, just bullshit. Welcome to the very first episode of Desi'Rae Said It. I ain't gonna lie, this feels weird as hell. Not in a bad way, just one of those damn, I'm really doing this kind of moments. For years, I kept saying I wanted to start a podcast. Then I talked myself out of it. I'd overthink it. I convinced myself I needed a better microphone, a better setup, a better body, better time, just better everything. And then one day I got tired of hearing my own damn excuses. Because if I'm being real, there was always going to be another damn excuse. So here we are. Before I start running my mouth about relationships, sex, parenthood, confidence, healing, and all the other shit we're about to get into over the next 20 seasons, I figured y'all should know who's behind this microphone. So, I'm Desiree. I'm 29 years old. I'm a mama. I'm a woman who's still learning, still growing, still trying to become the version of myself I've been dreaming about for years. And if I'm going to keep it all the way real, I don't have my shit together every single day. Some days I wake up feeling like I can conquer the damn world. Other days I'm wondering what the fuck I'm doing. And I know I can't be the only one. See, that's what I want this podcast to be. Not a place where somebody pretends they've got all the damn answers. Hell, if you're looking for perfect, you clicked on the wrong podcast. I ain't perfect. I'm passionate. I'm opinionated. I'm petty. I'm too forgiving. I overthink. I say exactly what everybody else is scared to say. But one thing you'll never have to question is whether I'm being real. If I say it, I mean it. If I don't know something, I'll tell you. If I'm wrong, I own it. And if I have an opinion, trust me, y'all are going to hear it. I want this to feel less like you're listening to a podcast and more like you're sitting in my living room at 1 o'clock in the morning with some dream talking about life. Some conversations are going to make you laugh. Some might piss you off. Some might have you texting your homegirl or your man or your mama and saying, "Did you hear what this girl just said?" That's exactly what I want because I don't want to create another podcast that people listen to and forget 5 minutes later. I want you to create conversations that stay with you, the kind that make you think long after the episode is over. So, welcome to my mind. It's unfiltered, it's complicated, it's healing, it's funny, it's growing, and starting today, y'all get a front row seat. So now that y'all know who the hell I am, let's talk about why this podcast is happening right now. Because honestly, timing of this feels crazy. I'm 29 years old. And if you are in your late 20s, you know exactly what I mean when I say this age feels different. Your 20s are weird as hell. You spend so much time trying to figure out who you are. You're chasing love. You're chasing money. You're chasing stability. You're trying to make everybody proud. You're trying to look like you have your shit together when half the time you're sitting there thinking, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Then one day you wake up and realize, damn, I'm not 21 anymore. I can't keep making the same choices and expecting a different life. I can't keep ignoring things I don't know and the things I know I need to change. I can't keep putting myself last and then wondering why I feel disconnected from who I am. And I think that's what this year has really been about for me. Coming back to myself. Not the version of me that everybody else expects. Not the version of me that's trying to make everybody comfortable. Me. The real me. The woman who has opinions. The woman who has dreams. The woman who has things she wants to say. The woman who is still healing from things she never talked about. Because one thing I've learned about getting older, you start realizing time is not something you can get back. You can waste years waiting for the right moment, waiting until you're more confident, waiting until you look a certain way, waiting until everything in your life is perfectly lined up. But life doesn't work like that. And honestly, I'm tired of waiting. Tired of telling myself one day I'll start. One day I'll be brave. One day I'll become the woman I see in my head. No, that day is now. And maybe that's what turning 29 is teaching me. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about finally being honest with yourself. Honest about what you want. Honest about what you deserve. Honest about what you need to leave behind. Because the woman I'm becoming, she's not interested in just surviving anymore. She wants to live. She wants to create. She wants to be seen. She wants to have the conversations people avoid. And that's what this podcast is. It's me opening that door and saying, come sit with me. Because I know I'm not the only person who's been trying to find themselves again. I know I'm not the only person who has looked back and thought, damn, I wish I knew then what I know now. But the beautiful thing is, I'm still here and I still have time. So this is 29. Not perfect, not finished, just becoming. Alright, now let's get into the fun part here. Because if you know me, you know I love a good conversation. Not the fake conversations. Not the everything is perfect conversations. I mean the real ones. The ones where somebody says something and everybody gets quiet because they're thinking, damn, I was thinking that too. That's the kind of space I want this to be. Because let's be honest, people are complicated as hell. Relationships are complicated. Love is complicated. Sex is complicated. Growing up is fucking complicated. And nobody really prepares you for how messy being a human actually is. We're going to talk about relationships, the good, the bad, and the confusing as hell parts. We're going to talk about what people want from love, what people need from each other, and why sometimes we keep choosing the same patterns even when we know they're hurting us. Because let's be real, everybody has a story. Everybody has something they've been through that changed the way they love. And sometimes we don't even realize how much our past affects the way we show up today. We're going to talk about sex too. And yes, I said sex. Because why do we act like it's not one of the biggest parts of adult relationships? People have desires. People have needs. People have things they want but are sometimes too afraid to say. And I think a lot of problems happen because people are scared to have honest conversations. Women are scared to say what they really want. Men are scared to admit what they really feel. And then everybody is walking around guessing, assuming, and getting hurt. That doesn't mean every conversation will be easy. Some things might make you uncomfortable. Some things might challenge the way you think. Some things might make you say, nah, that's right, I don't agree with you. And that's okay. Actually, I want that. Because I don't want this to be a place where everybody just nods their head and agrees. I want different perspectives. I want men listening and saying, okay, I never looked at it like that. I want women listening and saying, damn, I need to hear that. Because we learn when we're willing to listen. And outside of relationships, we're going to talk about life, parenthood, confidence, healing, becoming the person you know you're meant to be. Because nobody talks enough about the fact that becoming an adult is literally just figuring shit out as you go. One day you're a kid, the next day you're responsible for bills, relationships, decisions, and sometimes other little humans. And you're just sitting there like, wait, I really trusted me with this. But that's life. It's messy, it's beautiful, it's frustrating, it's exciting, and every single person has a story worth telling. So this podcast, this is where we tell the truth, the uncomfortable truth, the funny truth, the ugly truth, the healing truth. Because sometimes the conversations we are avoiding are the exact conversations we need the most. And that's what Desi'Rae Said It is about. You know what's funny? People are really good at judging the chapter they walked in on. They see where you are today, but they don't know what it took to get you here. They see confidence, but they don't see the moments you had to rebuild yourself. They see a smile, but they don't see the days you had to force yourself to keep going. They see the decisions you make, but they don't always see the reasons behind them. And I think that's something we all forget sometimes. Everybody is carrying something. Everybody has a story that explains why they move the way they move. And for me, this season of my life has really been about accepting all the different versions of myself. The girl I used to be, the woman I am now, and the person I'm still becoming. Because I'm not going to sit here and act like I've always had it figured out. I haven't. I've had moments where I was confident. I've had moments where I questioned myself. I've had moments where I had to look in the mirror and ask myself, girl, is this really the life you want? And those moments are uncomfortable as hell, but they're necessary because sometimes you have to be honest about where you are before you can become where you're trying to go. And I think that's what turning 29 has really shown me as well. I don't want to keep pretending. I don't want to keep showing people only the pretty parts because life isn't just a highlight reel. It's the late nights thinking. It's the lessons you learned the hard way. It's the moments where you had to pick yourself back up. It's the times you had to admit, maybe I need to change. And that's not weakness, that's growth. So before anybody listens to this podcast and decides who they think I am, I just want you to remember one thing. You're listening to a person, not a perfect person, not a person who has never made a mistake, a person. And that's what makes these conversations real. Because behind every opinion, there's a story. Behind every reaction, there's a reason. And behind every person, there's a whole world you may know nothing about. So here we are, the end of the first episode. And honestly, that shit feels kind of unreal. Because for a long time, this was just an idea I kept talking about. A one day thing. One day I'm going to start a podcast. One day I'm going to put myself out there. One day I'm going to stop being scared and actually do the damn thing. And guess what? One day finally came. And I think that's something a lot of us struggle with. We spend so much time waiting until everything is perfect. Waiting until we feel ready. Waiting until we look a certain way. Waiting until we have more money, more confidence, more experience. And honestly, that shit will keep you stuck forever. There will always be a reason to wait. There will always be something you think you need before you start. Sometimes you have to say, fuck it, I'm starting. Not because everything is perfect, not because you have every answer, but because you're tired of watching yourself sit on the sidelines of your own life. And that's where I'm at. I'm not sitting here pretending I have everything figured out. I don't. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still becoming the woman I know I'm meant to be and want to be and need to be for myself. But I'm proud of myself for finally showing up for myself. I hope this podcast reminds somebody else to show up for themselves too. Because the truth is, nobody is coming to give you permission to chase your dreams. Nobody is coming to magically make you confident. Nobody is coming to tell you it's finally your time. Sometimes you have to look at yourself and say, bitch, it's time. Nigga, it's time. It's time to stop doubting yourself. It's time to stop shrinking yourself. It's time to stop letting fear run your life. And it's time to start becoming who the hell you said you wanted to be. So welcome to my world. Welcome to Desi'Rae Said It. This is where we're going to laugh. We're going to have uncomfortable conversations. We're going to question things. We're going to learn. We're going to grow. And yeah, sometimes I might say some shit you don't agree with. Sometimes you might be sitting there like, Desi'Rae, what the fuck? And that's okay, because the goal isn't for everybody to think exactly like me. The goal is for us to actually talk, really talk. The kind of conversations we have after midnight when everybody's being honest. So, thank you for being here at the very beginning. Thank you for giving me your time, because this is only episode 1. This is only the first chapter. And I have a whole lot more to say. I'm Desiree, and I said what the fuck I said. I'll see you after hours. Mwah.